I shouldn't say round. Is this knife round? Yes, knife round. So not exactly round number 1 just yet, but we get to see who gets to choose which side. And we got this classic duel, knife duel, just jiggling back and forth, and they're finally engaging with each other. It looks like, pretty close here. Mr. Chalog can't get another one, though, so it will be Niter and Fake Reality surviving, and Sabre choosing the side, likely going to be CT side, to kick things off here on Ancient. Just have to wait a little bit longer before we actually go going into this round. Let's check out the chat just for a bit, see what you guys are chatting about. Comet Clan going to pop off. We've already got a Comet Clan fan here 2 matches ahead of schedule. I like it. Well, you'll have some great Counter-Strike to watch until we get there, of course. Actually, another Comet Clan fan here. Should be around 1K on the Comet Clan game. All right, all right. We'll see if that's going to be true. Either way, here we go. Finally getting underway with round number 1. As mentioned, I think Sabre will have the edge here with the amount of reps they've had against tougher competition here on Ancient. Not to mention that they've been successful on the map when they've played it here in advanced. Fake Reality, there's one, Hodix another. Already a strong start here for Sabre. BAKS Esports trying to regroup towards the B site, but Niter's closing the gap at lane. They're trapped. They have to fight their way out to BAKS Esports. Niter just going to back off a little bit as that Molotov is thrown in his direction. That opens up a touch of space, but BAKS are going to have to move quickly if they want to use the advantage to their benefit. Well, Niter, okay, there we go. So Niter's taken down. That opens up the space into mid. Svemi taps away. Can't really connect on his shots. He does get Mr. Chalog down to 8 HP. Can he finish the job? No, at least not yet. That said, I mean, Sabre's got all the information here on the rotation. Trying to deny the bomb plant. They do get a headshot. Nice running headshot from Svemi. Duyant and Greatest managed to get a couple, and Duyant is going to make it a 1v1. He's got 17 HP up against 10 for Fake Reality. Fake Reality's got to have heard that. He's looking the wrong way. Duyant gets the last one. Nicely done. It is going to be 1-0 off of Duyant's opening frags. Well done. 3K for him. 1-0 for BAKS Esports. It looks so good for Sabre, honestly. They had everything going in their direction. They had BAKS Esports surrounded towards the B site. I think Niter just got a little too hungry for a frag in that situation. Started to chase a little bit to try and close the gap at lane when he could have just hung out at mid and had the support of the Red Room player as well, which likely would have been a more favorable engagement if BAKS Esports came in that direction. So maybe something to think about and learn from. Either way, this round's going to be quickly over. There we go. Sabre don't waste any time trying to get aggressive there with the USPs only, and BAKS will take it easily. We go on. First buy round coming through for Sabre. M4A1S is across the board. Hodix has the M4A4. And a good amount of util here. About half the usual util for Sabre. Obviously they want more, but their economy won't allow it. Nice smoke thrown by BAKS Esports in for Red Room. And they're going to get some more util tossed out here. Duyant. Going out towards mid. A pincer attack onto mid by BAKS Esports. From lane and connector. Or I should say lane and Z. As Hodix info hops back and forth in rhythmic fashion. Now we'll get spotted out and taken down to 74 HP. But he just wanted information and he got it. Now they're going to try and progress towards mid. Duyant gets one, actually. I thought he got taken down there. No, but he gets that frag. Traded back and forth. 3v3, now a 3v2. And only one remains for BAKS Esports after Fake Reality chimes in over on Greatest 333. Sweats I7. Highlighted him in the pregame. Certainly up to the task in a 1v3, but this one is going to be a significant challenge with most of the 3 remaining players at full health. Not to mention they've got the armor, the util as well. Fake Reality, well, he spots the player, but he gets taken down to 11 HP. And now Hodix gone as well. Sweats delivering. Thanks, I mean, at least Hodix is able to get damage done onto Sweats, the nade and the bullets connected. So Sweats down to 28 HP, but I mean, Sweats himself is Proven to be quite serviceable. 22 seconds left, though, so he's got to get a move on here. Rushing a little bit. That will be his... Oh, my God. Fake reality almost whipped that. Oh, boy. Got his friend under control after about 10 or 11 shots were rattled off. But the important thing is he got the frag. First round on the board for SABRE. BAKS Esports. Not too fussed in terms of economy. We'll get a full buy pretty much across the board. I think one player might have to settle for a pistol. They're juggling things around. Yeah, and it looks like Mr. Trelog is going to have to accept the fact that a PG-50 is all he'll be walking into this round with. I'm surprised he's not... I'm surprised he's the one lurking, because usually you'd want the pistol playing the buddy system with a rifler. He does end up setting up pincer attack into mid. Greatest will find the first on the Nitro. Sainty managed to get the follow-up. It will be Hodix with the Molotov taking down Greatest 333. 4v3 in favor of BAKS Esports, and that will be expanded to a 4v2 with Hodix being dropped on that A site. Now SABRE likely calling for the save because they just don't have the utility to go back in towards this A site. And I would even say the time either, because they're so very far away. Economy-wise, it makes more sense to save too, so that will be that. BAKS Esports doing a pretty good job here in the early goings. 3-1, isolating SABRE's lone round victory. And that'll send us in to round number 5 with a 3-1 lead in favor of BAKS. Checking out the chat again. Oh, thank you guys for the kind words. Astro and Pushek Okrashek. Hope I said that right. Here we go. SABRE. I mean, they got the 2 saved rifles, but everyone else is going to be on an eco to make sure the economy doesn't get too out of whack. Nice nade toss. Greatest taking down to 63, but they're not going to stop. They are thunder stomping in towards this B site. Spemmy and Jackass doing work. 3K for them. Sweats manages to get 1. A follow-up as well, but they still have to do a lot more here. 3 players remain, and there are guns on the ground that SABRE are trying to recover. Nitro's got an A1S in his hands instead of just a USP now. He swings around the corner, finds one, maybe even the second, but no, Hodix runs down Sweats with the USP. It will be a second round for SABRE on one that only featured 3 USPs and 2 rifles. Just because BAKS got so committed to pushing up there, they didn't check their angles or weren't really prepared for the onslaught of players that were already towards that B site. You have to take your time sometimes, clear your angles, go methodically, especially when there's a nade that immediately gets thrown down that ramp. Oftentimes, it can be just a distraction, could be an anchor, just trying to hold the site. But in that instance, there were bodies everywhere for SABRE, and BAKS just got overloaded, even though, of course, it's just the USPs in the mix with those 2 rifles. The rifle was in the right place to start doing the damage and allowed the pistols to come in and have a say as well. Timeout going to be called by SABRE. It has expired. As they get ready for round number 6. And you see here, BAKS, they still have enough money, of course, to buy out, but the utility is a little lighter this time around. 2 Galils and 3 AKs. The biggest problem for BAKS is that there's 3 AKs on the other side as well. Because SABRE had so many bodies standing in that previous round, they were able to carry them forward here. Jackass gets the opener. Fake reality the second. Again, BAKS trying to go fast here. And SABRE are more than happy to oblige with the frags. Duliant gone. Svemi takes care of that. A lot of damage on Svemi, though. He's at 5 HP, but he's still alive. And so is Nitro after taking a ton of damage up against Greatest 333, leaving only Sweats I7 standing, who does get a couple. I mean, he's been good in these fights and situations, in 1vx situations, I should say, but, you know, needs the rest of his team to chime in as well. 3-3, all tied up. So we head to the 7th round of play. Both these teams are hoping that they can make it again to the grand final of Advanced and have another shot of making it to ECL. Hodix going to get a couple of opening op frags. Niter managed to spray down Mr. Chalog. And I mean, this is pretty straightforward. Just the anti-eco coming through. Sabre not fussed at all. There's a bomb planted, though. I didn't even realize that Sainty had gone to the B site. So just a distraction set up there by BAKS Esports to allow the plant to come through. And that's honestly what they wanted to do in the round. So mission accomplished. They get an extra $600 to boost their bank accounts and make their buy-up a lot more comfortable here since the AKs are going to come out. It just gets you that extra couple of pieces of utility, and that can very much be the difference maker in a round. AWP for Hodix. Haven't really seen the op out on the backside. Of course, that's the nature of having won the first 3 rounds and then, or I should say 3 of the first 4 rounds, and then not really being able to build up your economy enough to get the op in play. Could also be a conscious decision, but I doubt it. Anyway, Sweats I7 is going to get the opener onto Svemi. Niter in a prime position to respond. Now he's got Hodix by his side, but that's a great flashbang. Pop flash coming through, and Niter's only good for 1. Hodix hoping to respond. Can't hit the flick. Duelyant finds the 2K. 4v2 and now a 4v1. Duelyant standing on his head to clear out all the bodies towards the A site. So far it's been the Duelyant and Sweat show. Fake Reality, I mean, they've got the money. He can certainly have a look here. But I imagine his plan is just to hold this angle in Catacombs towards CT and try to get frags. That's not going to help his cause. Had the shadow advantage and everything and could not hit the spray. He's got a shot onto Sweats, but can't tap Duelyant down, who finds himself the quad kill. And speaking of 4s, we've got them all over the scoreboard, tied up here at exactly that. Another timeout going to be used here by Sabre. Probably not too happy with the result of that one. But the money's fantastic, as I already mentioned. So buy-up coming through, no questions asked. And we'll probably see the op again in Hodix's hands. That's a tough one, honestly, that he missed. It felt like his crosshair was on, but I believe there was just a bit of aim punch that came through right at that moment as he was firing the shot, and that's why it did not connect. Reminder, guys, we got only BO1s today, no BO3s. That also means we get to see 6 different teams. Sweats. Just putting this off right into that corner so you can thread the needle. Someone charges up. Speaking of charging up, Fake Reality goes right out of Jaguar to find one, but Mr. Shalog is good for the trade. Sabre have been consistently aggressive here towards mid. One part of the... Oh, let's get back to that. Niter finds himself a headshot onto Sweats. And he knows Mr. Shalog is here, but that's a great Molotov that Mr. Shalog throws right outside of Jaguar to force Niter back and give himself a little bit of breathing room. He's going to use that room to walk all the way up ramp so that even if Niter peeks around here, he won't get any visibility anymore. Not to mention Greatest 333 and Mr. Chalog are about to group up together. Oh, but Greatest 333 doesn't realize that Niter could be that close. I'm surprised the comms may not have been there. Should have been a warning for Mr. Chalog that Niter was lurking right around this corner. Now Mr. Shalog is gone. Jack has taken care of that. And Duelyant, while he does get that frag, he's down to 10 HP, and he's not long for this round. Yep, completely gone there. 5-4 in favor of Sabre. So Sabre winning 5 out of the last 6 rounds here, I believe. Let's check out that scoreboard, actually, so I can get confirmation. Okay, I stand corrected. 5 out of the last 7 rounds. Thank you. Still very good, especially considering the start that BAKS had. Oh, Dulyan trying to run one down with the MAC-10, but his bullets just don't connect with the head of Svemi. And that means another opening frag here found by SABRE. Hodix, I think he connected with one of the shots in the leg. He did. Then he got Sainty. After that, Fake Reality supporting, pinching in from Cave. Makes things a lot more difficult for BAKS Esports. They do have control of the site, and a bomb plant is going to come through. The problem is the bomb plant is the last one standing, and he is quickly dealt with by Jackass. SABRE starting to look stronger and stronger as this map goes on. Svemi a 2K in that one. In Fake Reality, I did highlight him as a player that can be impactful, has his maps, and right here it appears to be that he's having himself quite an ancient. Already up to 10 frags. Leading the server in that category, and also almost an ADR. He's at 92 ADR. Leads the team there, but Dual Yant is the top of the server in that category with 128 ADR. 11th round of play. SABRE have already ensured that at least they'll be going to that second half with a tie, but they want more. They want to bury BAKS Esports right into the ground and get them to feel hopeless heading into that second half. Flashbang going to be tossed. Hodix, no. Oop, misses the shot. This is tough. Has to fade away into the catacombs, and now losing the mid player is even more problematic. Luckily for him, Svemi is right there to pitch in from Donut, but he only gets one. Dual Yant finds the trade. The Tech 9s are looking good. Hodix has managed to recover. I'm surprised he's still alive with all that pressure, but does make it a 3v3 and prevents the bomb from being planted. That's the most important part. Another trade comes through, so we're still leaving numbers. Now at a 2v2 instead of a 3v3. Sweats has slipped through into CT. This could be the winning play. Fake Reality, realizing something could be up, and he goes out and ensures that Sweats does not have the chance to clinch the round victory. Greatest 3-3, last one standing, and they know where he is. And we'll end him. Hodix, couple of nice shots. More importantly for Hodix, the retreat there, right? Sometimes caution is the better part of valor, and falling back is not always a losing play. In that situation, Hodix showing exactly why. Went back to Catacombs, recovered himself, and re-peeked out of in towards a site in order to get the first, and then held his ground in order to ensure his riflers would have better positioning as well. So very well done from SABRE. Under pressure, still managed to get that 7th round. Final round of play here in this first half. Smoke going to get tossed there for Red Room. Svemi overloaded. Nice flashbangs, and Dual Yant with a tap at the end through the smoke onto Hodix. That is a fantastic execute in towards mid. Utility usage perfect. Jackass going to have his hands full, and he can't do anything about it. Dual Yant, another 3-kill plus round coming through from him. His ADR numbers continue to be fantastic as a result, and Fake Reality in a very tough 1v4 clutch. Has a 1v1 there, and it doesn't matter. Sainty will not miss. 5th round secured there for BAKS Esports. We go into that second half with SABRE having a 7-5 lead. Guys, don't forget, if you're looking to make your way through the ranks in ESEA League, well, Season 54 is right around the corner, and registration is open. So whether you're a seasoned veteran and you're looking to continue your run through ESEA, or you're a new team or a new player that wants to find a new team and get an entirely new roster formed in order to journey from Open 10 to Advanced all the way to ECL, you can register now for ESEA 54. All right, let's get back to the action. Greatest 3-3-3. Oh, gets Gush down to 2 HP. Lucky to be alive, honestly. Great smoke being thrown by SABRE, and look at Jackass lurking in the shadows. Catches Sweats, trying to go on a flank into A main. Dual Yant has the dualies. He's spamming away, but he can't do anything. Sainty does manage to get one second player to try to come in from A main, but doesn't expect Niter here. But Niter can't connect on the shots. Niter gone too. Sainty doing work here. Hodix still stands in his way, and now it will be Fake Reality take care of Mr. Trelog. Chaotic pistol round, but Sainty, although he does still manage to get a 3rd frag, and may even get the 4th here, he does. It's no time to go defuse the bomb. Well done from Sainty, at least in terms of the mechanical skill, but the round still falls the way of SABRE. So round number 14 will feature a force buy for BAKS Esports. And there's been a lot of discussions lately about force buys and whether you should be going for them. Should you go for ecos? And MR12 is a force buy the better decision? I would say, my personal opinion is, okay, Sweat's going to get the opener with the MP9 onto Hodix, is that force buys on second round are mostly beneficial and mostly give you a better chance of finding success because there's only so many rounds, right? And you can see it right here. Look, the force up already yielded 3 frags for BAKS, and SABRE's only got 2 left standing. Svemi still gets the bomb plant here, but there's going to be guns on the ground. A lot available for BAKS. Oh my goodness, Femi. Is he going to pop off here? Almost gets the third onto Greatest. Now it's off to Jackass. Doesn't realize there's a second player coming from Jaguar. And that will do it. A 6th round found for BAKS. Immediately responding off that pistol round victory. But yeah, like in MR15, you know, you have plenty of rounds to save up your economy. You can lose the pistol round. You say, okay, well, we go for the eco, a couple of rounds in a row where we don't buy, and then we come right back. So you've got time to recover. In MR12, you don't. So you have to activate as quickly as possible. And yes, it is obviously risky to go for a force buy because it prevents you from having the util and a proper set pieces going in round after round. But personally, I feel like, as you saw right there, you're going to be able to compete a lot better with the T side. And especially with the adjustment to the bomb plant bonus after the Ts lose a round, for example, if they get that bomb plant, the CTs are on much more even footing now than back when it was $800 plant bonus. All right, Great is going to get 2 frags immediately. Does get run down by Svemi, and the force buy wars are, of course, on here. Svemi, not a third, but damage done over on Sweats. The thing is, it's only 1 player left. Oh, Svemi from the grave gets the frag onto Sweats with the Molotov, helping Nider into a 1v1. Nider needs 1 more frag to secure this one. Dual Yant might have the edge. He does. Dual Yant came around that corner. Nider was none the wiser as he just finds his head taken clean off. 7th round found for BAKS. And now is when you have to probably save if you're SABRE. That said, I should take that back because BAKS Esports with only 1 player left standing, it might make sense for SABRE to force up because they have the opportunity potentially to break the economy of the CTs, which is always difficult to get going. And I think that we might have a technical pause here. I'm not sure if this is tactical or not. But if it is tactical, it would be SABRE talking things over to decide if they're going to force up here. And I think the decision will be yes. You already see Jackass investing into the MAC-10. Okay, this might be a technical pause because Sainty's not on the server, so can't do a 5. I mean, you can do a 5v4, but you probably shouldn't. Hearing some typing there. Guess the player's communicating. Explaining what may have happened. Don't have any information just yet on my side, guys, but I'm assuming probably just a crash. And the player will rejoin the server as soon as they are able. It is Sainty that we lost. Whoa, hold on, guys. I just got some news in my feed. I'm trying to confirm if this is actually legit or trolling, because you never know. Apparently, Sun Pius and Saw have reached a verbal agreement with G2 Esports and are expected to join after the major. Some really significant changes coming to G2 then. Oh boy. I'm going to dig into that one a little bit afterwards. But we're back into the action here. SABRE trying to bounce back, and they will go for that force buy, as I discussed. Thing is, it's still going to be difficult to come in with victory because they're up against an op and 3 rifles. Dual Yet works the AK for a couple of frags. Femi and Niter are gone. Util not strong enough there for SABRE, and that's part of the problem with the force buy. Util's just a little bit lighter. And the flashbang didn't connect at all. Hodix. Deagle. Ooh, misses the shot, and Sainty will not let him take another one. Mr. Chalog waiting over in Jaguar. Dual Yant tosses that incendiary down, and Fake Reality only tagged for a little bit of damage, but his teammate Jackass is not so lucky. Mr. Chalog takes care of business there, picks up the AK, and deals the last blow. 2 for Mr. Chalog, 2 for Dual Yant. And we've got an 8-8 scoreline all knotted up. SABRE cannot keep forcing now. Eventually, you have to put a pause in the force buy because you just won't have the ability to compete with some of these rifles, not to mention the utility. You see BAKS Esports, especially considering they had quite a few members left standing in that round. SABRE have to make the call to back off just a touch. Deagle going to be bought up, a couple of pieces of util, no body armor for anyone. SABRE just hoping to get a bomb plant out of this round. Anything else would be an immense bonus. Oftentimes that A site can be pretty vulnerable in the early parts of the round, especially if there's mid-aggression that comes through. Oh, what a shot from Sweats, honestly. He's finally got the op in his hands, and he hits it through the smoke, lined it up right before the smoke balloon. Dual Yant and Sainty doing the work, and SABRE cannot get that bomb plant. They tried to just pressure over on the A site to get that bomb planted, but it just doesn't happen. BAKS Esports now in the lead, 9-8 in their favor. Feels like this one is destined to go down to the wire. But already, I mean, let's not forget, again, reminder, BAKS Esports were in Maine last season. We're the champions of Maine, but that doesn't always, in fact, usually doesn't immediately translate to success in advanced. And they're going against the formula, I would say, by being 6-0 and competing with the number 2 team from advance and perhaps coming out with a win here. We'll see if that will be the case. Greatest gets one, but maybe a little over aggressive in his hunt. Gets traded out, and now that'll trigger SABRE to move in towards that B site. They use the Molotov. Don't throw the smoke, though. They're saving that for a little bit later, I guess, but that means that there's so much space for BAKS Esports to have a look around. Great smoke pop coming through, and Sweats takes advantage of it. On to Fake Reality. Jackass, the last one standing. What a collapse from BAKS, but they get too aggressive. Jackass lines him up and knocks him down. Now a 1v2, and the spam does not connect. That's information for Jackass. Smoke pop comes through, but the smoke fades, and Sweats will find the last 2K for him. He is up to 16. And this is the Sweats that I talked about earlier on. The main opper here for BAKS Esports has amazing numbers so far this season. And if we could see the ADR numbers, I think we can switch over to that. Oh, maybe not. We'll look at it after, guys. Oh, quickly. Yay. Thank you very much. Yeah, Sweat's sitting at 72 ADR, but that's, pretty normal for an opper. But Dual Yant still at the top with 132. The fact that he's kept up that pace throughout the entirety of these 18 rounds is impressive in and of itself. All right, SABRE, just the pistols. They're trying to bulldoze into this B side again. Didn't work last time. Feels like they're banging their heads up against the wall, and that is exactly the case. Greatest will go down to Hodix, and that's an upgrade to an M4, but Sainty's right there to almost finish things off. Niter survives with 4 HP. A near impossible task on his hands, and he is not up to the task at all. 11-8 in favor of BAKS. 2 more rounds, and they will stay undefeated on the season at 7-0 and find one of their biggest victories yet. But yeah, Sweats actually, on pretty regular occasion, has had 100+ ADR at the top of the scoreboard, sitting at 93.8 ADR on the season. So he definitely can put up the numbers in that regard as well. Let's see what happens here. SABRE trying to collapse on mid, and the flashbangs are good this time. Fake Reality gets a couple. Smoke Pop going to come through. Sweats watches the score feed and sees that his teammates are falling by the wayside. Needs to activate soon, and he does to get one. But the smokes are good towards that A site. Oh my god. I thought Greatest was dead to rights without a chance, but he gets Jackass down to 2 HP. Unlucky that he's got an M4 instead of an AK. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Knight are going to get the last one there. And SABRE are still alive with a 9th round victory. Hey, it's Ice Gaming. How's it going? All right. What will happen here in round 21? SABRE getting a barrage of utility right in their faces, but Svemi, despite eating a nade there, still manages to keep his composure and find an opening frag for his squad. Shot rattled off by Hodix, misses the mark. Mr. Jalal gets around the corner, but has to eat a nade just to hold this angle. Down to 53 HP. SABRE getting ready to explode outwards towards this B site. But there are bodies here. In fact, almost every single one. Missed shot from Sweats means that SABRE can come up a little bit further, but Svemi will not be as lucky as his teammate. He falls to Sweats. Afterwards, Hodix wins the op v op duel to keep the man advantage in SABRE's favor. They flood through onto the site, but Mr. Chalog, good on the spam through the panel, will take down Fake Reality. Could try it again here. But instead, he has to jump and dodge an incendiary that's thrown in his direction. Greatest 333 will come through with a big play, leaving it all down to Hodix, who pops off for 2, pulls out the pistol. It was the right idea, but Mr. Jalog with 4 HP clutches it out for his squad. It will be 12-9 in favor of BAKS. One more round for BAKS Esports. And they've got themselves a 7-0 start to this season. Not even the start of the season anymore, just 7-0. Thought SABRE might have the edge here, given how much CS they've played lately, how much Ancient they've been on, you know, playing some officials there on HLTV and CCT and Thunderpick, but doesn't seem to be translating to success here against BAKS. Hodix gets the opener. And again, they go right into the B site. Like, they have been insistent on heading to this B site. Sweats, just a touch better with that op right now. Takes down Niter. Sainty can't do the same to Svemi. 4v3 for SABRE. Mr. Shalog blinded out. Great paw flash thrown by Fake Reality. And now I think BAKS Esports are just going to fade off. A lot of these rounds, despite them being victories for BAKS, have been very tightly contested. The bodies have been falling. And that means the economy is not as good as they would like. So this op and M4 are very important. Hodix spots out Duelyant, and now they're going to hunt aggressively to get this last one. They know how important this op is for BAKS. Sweats, good for one. His second on the round. But he's going to get closed in on. Nice incendiary to throw through. Hodix is going to charge through it. Sweats hits the shot. And I think that there aren't any bodies close by anymore. What a save of the op for Sweats. That will help them quite a bit in this round. I don't think they're going to buy, though. They just have to rely on Sweats' op. And honestly, that's not too bad of a situation considering how well he has been playing, leading the server with 21 frags. Couple of pistol upgrades here for BAKS Esports. 5.7 and a Deagle around the AWP. Look at Sweats go. Look at this aggression with the ops just charging down towards the bottom of mid. And that nade is pretty chonky from SABRE, though. Duelyant and Sainty going down to 18 and 15 HP respectively. B site has been stacked here for BAKS. They're gambling, and unfortunately for them, the gamble is wrong, though. All that utility was just a ruse. Jackass falls back. Sweats. You gotta be careful, Sweats. You don't want to lose this op. He's all by his lonesome. Jackass will find one on the flank, probably another. feel like almost certainly a second player will die here. There it is. Sainty fades away to the bomb site, and this is more of what I expected. Just the pistols surrounding the op and trying to keep it alive. Jackass collects another frag. That's 3 on the round for him. Sweat's just desperately hoping that this op can be carried over at least one more round. Great is probably dead. He is. Sweats hits the shots. There's too many bodies. There's too many players. The op will not move on to the next round, and it can't be bought up by BAKS. They don't have enough money. So we are on to round number 24, and overtime feels like a very real possibility unless BAKS are able to put a stop to SABRE here. It's been the B site as a final destination pretty much every single round for the last 7 rounds. And while SABRE felt like they were banging their heads up against a brick wall and it wasn't going to work out for them, eventually it did. So you got to credit their stubbornness, I suppose. BAKS ESPORTS getting aggressive here down towards bottom mid. Dual Yant through the smoke. That is huge. Onto Hodix. Finds it with the FAMAS. Will immediately get a reload off. And the op has been thrown away by Nitro. They don't want to give BAKS ESPORTS a chance to recover that should they manage to take a bomb site and be far away from Zeke. Nitro comes around the corner, gets one, but Sainty insta-dinks him to keep the man advantage in their favor. Svemi is good for another one, though, and we're back to even numbers and a huge advantage for SABRE firepower-wise. Svemi collects Sweats' head and then finds another one onto Sainty. They do lose one in the process, but Greatest 333 only has that MP9. That said, they don't know where he is, and there are guns everywhere. So Svemi will almost certainly have an upgrade to a rifle as he goes in for what will be an inevitable retake here towards the A site. Greatest 333, nothing to lose. Final round of play in regulation, the chance to be the hero for his squad. Moving through A main. The T's are over in Donut. Does he have util? He has a Molotov. Maybe if he deploys that in the right spot, he can go for a defusal here. There's the molly. It will force Femi out of position, but they're still tucked in, and I don't think he's got this. He's got the frag anyway on the first, but just no time to defuse. So well played by Fake Reality. No, there's no chance. Not even close. No defusal comes through. At least Greatest 333 did a great job of finding those 2 frags, but it's not enough to secure the round victory, and we are destined for overtime. So, SABRE showing very much signs of life there. And the last few rounds, 3 rounds in a row were required just to get them to overtime. Dual Yant still at 100 plus ADR, 112 ADR. Not to mention he's doing some util damage as well. The second on the team with 143 utility damage. We go on. Jackass and Svemi both sitting at 19 strikes apiece, and Hodix at 18. Niter, who I did highlight in the beginning, actually hasn't had the greatest of games, so it happens sometimes. But right now, he gets the opening frag and Fake Reality the follow-up to give them a 5v3 edge. Into OT, they don't have to worry about money as much anymore. Can be a little bolder in their plays and their calls. Mr. Trelog, chance to punish, lines them up. Both gone. Sweats gets an op shot as well, and Mr. Trelog almost secured it right there, but he couldn't finish off Jackass. That said, Sweats, the 2K, and this round has turned right on its head. It was a 5v3 in favor of SABRE, and it has turned into a 2v1 for BAKS with Sweats, the top player on the squad, looking for his 25th frag, and he's holding the right angle for it. Ooh, the flashbang is fantastic, though, so it allows Jackass a little bit of space. Thing is, he's still walking into a pretty lethal situation. Smoke gonna get tossed. I think he's trying to bait them into thinking that he grabbed the bomb and took it back to the other site. Could wait around here a little bit longer, but eventually, if he does want to go A, he's got to get a move on. 30 seconds left on the clock. Being watched, Sweats has the right idea, and Jackass is dead to rights. No chance at all. 3K for Sweats, and I mean, it doesn't happen without Mr. Trelog's efforts there right outside of Jaguar. If he doesn't do that damage and get a 2K, then Sweats doesn't have the space to pull off the clutch. 25 frags. And a 13th round on the board for BAKS, which they very much would have liked to have found in regulation, because then they wouldn't have had to go to OT, of course. Here comes SABRE. All out blitz to the A site. They're trying to overload. As mentioned, this can be a really solid play because there's so much emphasis towards mid in the early round, and Hodix actually gets a TK there before he connects on the dual Yant. 4v3 in favor of BAKS. The A site is lost. All 4 players coming from the exact same angle, and there are still 2 nades for SABRE. If they throw them in the right spot, they can do so much damage, but the bomb gets planted as Nitro dies. Hodix doesn't need the nade. He gets 2 with the rifle. Now it's up to Jackass in the 1v2, but it won't happen. Look who's still standing. It is Sweats with his 27th frag and a 14th round secured off of it. The superstar for BAKS Esports is delivering round after round after round. We are pretty much in MR15 now. Not pretty much, we are in MR15. First to 16 rounds will be victorious. Last round of the first half of OT. In every single one of these rounds, SABRE have had an advantage at some point in overtime. But Sweats comes through with the heroics. That's been the difference maker. Niter takes the space in towards Red Room. He is the lurk. Everyone else leaning towards that B site, although they're kind of split in terms of seemingly what they want to... No, they're just doing a boost. Okay. Thought they were looking towards mid and thinking about taking that, but it's a 3-man boost to get visibility to the B site. You actually don't see this boost very often. Would love to see the top player there for visibility. Yeah, that's a massive boost. It's a big commitment in terms of manpower, and they actually would have seen Greatest had they waited a little longer. Jackass tried to make his way towards the B site. 4v3 in favor of BAKS, and now beautiful flashbang toss. Fake Reality still recovers to get a couple, but he will fall to guess who? Sweats I7. Hodix, last one in a 1v2 again. Can Sweats deliver the 3K and the 30 bomb? Well, he won't have to. Dual Yant takes care of business. Hodix is down for the count, and it's a 15-12 scoreline in favor of BAKS. Love the boost from SABRE. The reason you don't see a lot of teams do it is because it takes a very large manpower commitment, and if anyone pushes down mid and goes lane, which, I mean, Ancient is notorious for on CD side, you're dead. Like, you lose 2 players, maybe even all 3 from a spray down. But I still love it because the visibility you gain is insane. Off we go to what could be the final round of play here in this map. And of course, well, technically seriousness. Moving on to another division of ESEA after this. Niter. Ooh. Gets away. Greatest 333 was a peek away from finding a freebie. Svemi holding the op. Double op setup for SABRE. The first time we've seen it so far. In 28 rounds. Flashbang toss, and Svemi immediately rattles off a shot. No one close by, though. Incendiary toss. Niter peeks out and dies immediately. Sweats does take a ton of damage. I think that was a dink. But he finds that 30 bomb. Sainty gets traded. Lots of damage done. That could help Jackass. They're not clearing this at all. Jackass collects 3 before he falls. 1v3 in favor of SABRE with Dual Yant having the bomb in his back, and the A site's actually pretty much completely open. Svemi is watching with the op from Donut, but Dual Yant could plant CT side without Svemi realizing it. That said, I very much doubt that Svemi, or excuse me, Dual Yant is, well, he's not going CT now. He's going to get spotted, but what a shot from Dual Yant! That is much harder than it looks. Hits it right on the dome of Svemi. and makes this one extremely probable, at least for a bomb plant. Keeps faking it, wants to try and draw out that fight, eventually decides to stick the plant. Nice nade thrown, brings Duelyan down to 58 HP. Fake reality. Important duel on his hands, and he gets sprayed down to 73. Now Duelyan turns around, finds the frag on Hodix, almost pulls off the 1v3 clutch, but falls one frag short. SABRE stay alive again. They did it in regulation. They found 3 in a row there. Now they're trying to find 3 in a row here in overtime to send us to double OT. Reminder, next matchup is going to be Slake versus Team Phoenix in ESEA Intermediate. It's starting in a minute, so we might have to join up there in progress. We'll see. Either way, this match is delivering as promised between 2 undefeated teams, and one that is highly touted and advanced in SABRE. Hodix misses a big shot, but the damage has been done with the util over on BAKS. Hodix now will connect. His teammates are there to support. Duelyan pulls one back, but only one. Sweat's still alive, hits the off shot, and a big miss from Hodix results in him falling. Oh, Svemi connects on Trelog through the smoke, and Niter finds Sweat, right at the exact same moment. I actually thought that was a collab because both frags appeared immediately, but it wasn't. Either way, still a crazy shot through the smoke. And a 14th round found for SABRE. They're hanging in there. Refuse to say die. Great flashbang thrown by BAKS Esports to take this mid control. They do have to take a lot of damage from that Molotov, or Zindir, excuse me, and look at that. Mr. Trelog down to below half health now. None of that from bullets. SABRE, unbeknownst to them, have a significant HP advantage now. But mid is lost. Svemi trying to clear the space in the river. We know that someone could be here. Missed shot though. Svemi gets sprayed down to 22. Hodix has the op on his side. The double op has been very, very effective for SABRE here on their CT side. Mr. Trelog waiting for reinforcements. They want to put pressure on this position, probably with the Molotov. It's going to be a peek from the op, and Sweats loses the fight. He's been so good, but that time Hodix had his number. 2 players waiting on this B site. Mr. Trelog does get the trade after picking up the op off the ground, and Duelyan's got a great spot. Fantastic, in fact, if Jackass turns around. He doesn't, but he still loses the fight. 4v3, look at those HP bars fall too on the SABRE side. How quickly the fortunes have favored BAKS here in this round and flipped around. Niter gets a trade, but that's not good enough to gain that, even at the numbers, and even gain an advantage. He's going to go right through that Molotov, take more damage just to gain the space into long B. It might be the right idea. Tap towards pillar. Sainty will find Niter. It's all up to Svemi now with the op in his hands. 22 HP to keep hope alive and send us to double OT. Sainty will go down. Svemi jumps around, gets back to short B. Not sure they're going to realize he's in this position. Has to clear out cave. Now they've heard him. Mr. Log won't have to do it because it's Greatest 333 who clinches victory for his squad. 16-14 in overtime.